Right, shout out to my guy, Greg Blackman, right? He made a post. And this is my response to it. Let's show his post first. I love Novar FLIP like a brother, but you know he's somewhere right now recording a YouTube video explaining how guy from Baby Reindeer is the real abuser. Now, shout out Greg Blackman. I love Greg Blackman like a brother as well. Obviously, we don't agree on that. And here we go. I'll even give him a red flag. Red flag for that comment. Because what that does is that undermines the stuff that I've talked about abuse to women, right? It undermines it. It acts like any of it that I've said is not real, and those people are innocent men. It defends the abusers and it undermines the survivors who are women, right? And it just feeds into red pill stuff, to be honest. It's quite red pill. I don't know. I've seen Greg sometimes lean to that, but he's usually not. Usually, well, you know, we don't all agree on everything. Cool. I didn't go crazy in the comments on that, and I made a joke saying it's corny or whatever, but I have watched the show, yeah. I'm going to put that back big again when we read the other bit, but I've been supporting the show, Baby Reindeer, written by, his name, Richard Gadd, is that his name? Let's get his name right. Yeah, Richard Gadd. So one thing I saw him say was that he specifically did not want to make this show about, it's a show about, for anyone who doesn't know, I'm presume most people who are watching, especially when they watch it back, are going to know about the show. It's a show about him being a victim survivor of stalking, among other things. But the central theme is around his stalker, right, as a woman who's stalking him. And he specifically said, I didn't want to make this into It Happens to Men Too. So it's not pitched at women. It's not pitted at women. And I said that in a comment to Greg, and he went, yeah, 100% correct. But then I saw Greg do this whole thing in his stories about how, oh my God, people are so shocked that it happens to men too, which was all a bit red pill. And cool, have those conversations. I'm not against having those conversations, but nobody is shocked about It Happens to Men Too. We spend way more time talking about It Happens to Men Too than we actually do focusing on it happening to women. So it's quite a bit leaning over to that right wing space again of, I'm using that term just because we've been using it in the previous videos, but just to that space of pushing more to male dominance, keeping the conversation around men's spaces, being in denial about support women get and stuff like that, lack of support that they get. But cool. So he did agree, like, yeah. And the other point I made, that the main abuser in that show is a man. There's another story that comes in where the most serious abuser in that story is a man, and no one's focused on it. Everyone's attacking the woman, right? So anyway, I say all of that just to say I was not doing anything like that, saying that the man is the main abuser. He's mocking me with the Amber Heard stuff when he's saying that as well, right? Because I'm talking about Johnny Depp being the real abuser, which he is. But that's another story, right? I wasn't saying about this. I was praising him. I was praising that he played himself. I was praising that he gave a platform for his story. I was praising that he didn't make it into a thing attacking women, and that he specifically said he was not doing It Happens to Men Too thing. But after this happened, I read a comment that made me rethink some things, right? So this is what I said to him. I'm just going to read out my own comment. So Greg Blackman tagged me in this for a joke, and I hadn't been saying any of this at all and had been praising the show. But I just saw someone else saying it, and it was an interesting take. Because the real Martha is the character who's the stalker in the show, is now being stalked and harassed online. And she is now speaking and claiming that he actually stalked her, and that actually she has never served any time. There are parts of this show that indicates this could be true. The take I read said it was irresponsible for him to do this show as himself and have his identity public, because it left it open to reveal everyone, and that obviously would lead to them getting negative attention. So on some level he knew this and on some level he knew doing this would cause her harassment. And he's been doing it for ages as a theatre show and in stand-up. He's essentially spent a lot of his life harassing her on public forums. I still like the show and have many good things to say about it. I just thought it was an interesting take, because she actually basically the public have gone and found her and started harassing her online. So this is not really deniable. It's kind of a fact. She's now being harassed. We don't know, the full details of all the story of what happened, but she's pretty, pretty clear that she has been involved in stalking him. But she's now being harassed, right? And so we're gonna get some of her comments up, but she is being harassed online on a mass level, which is probably like it's gonna be more. It's bigger than anything that she could have done. Or maybe there's a few physical things that happen. We could say that's bigger, but as far as the stalking part and harassment, it's quite huge, the level of harassment she's now facing. He's saying that's not what he wants, yeah. So to his credit, he's saying, nah, you're missing the point of the show if you're doing that. Leave her alone, all of that. So to his credit, yeah. But he also, people are pointing out that he, playing himself is what left it open to that, and he left all of her stuff on his social media, so she was easy to find, right? She was easy to look up. I had all of this ready earlier. 1 second, I'm just gonna I had her stuff up on the screen and now I don't. So I want to pull her up again. Oh my god, she's made 9 new posts. She has been on one. Look at the comments. Alright, wait though. No. I had it on Twitter first, because I actually looked at her I saw her Facebook days ago, and I didn't say anything about it, and I didn't even have this thought about it. I thought she was kind of going off on one. So wait a second, I just need to find. But when I looked at it today, like a lot of the original posts I saw there weren't there. But I went onto Twitter and found. So Richard Gadd, who is not known to me, wrote a show 4 or 5 years ago for the Festival Fringe called Baby Reindeer. It would appear to be popular on Netflix now among 20-somethings with no brain. Well, I'm not a 20-something with no brain, and I enjoyed the show. Well, cool, I'll allow you to take your shots. I do not follow the ratings of Richard Gadd or failed comedians like him. Well, he's not failed because he's just had a very successful show. But he seems to have some fat, ugly woman called Martha being played by an actress pretending to be me. So she did also, I saw it in that she was in a newspaper saying that she's beautiful and that he's not Brad Pitt, and it's a bit mad. They've got a woman, like overweight woman, to play her, and that, whatever. He chose the actor that was great, right? But I've seen some of her pictures. Like, she isn't as overweight as the woman playing her. That's for sure. He seems to have. Again, I do not know this actress. Richard Gadd was a jobbing barman in the Hawley Arms, Camden. I did know that. I used to live in Camden and no longer do. Okay, so she's pretty acknowledging this is about her, right? It is a horrific joint, and I thought that I never saw this second half to it, I don't think. And I thought had been shut down by licensing. Oh no, I did. I had death threats from Richard Gadd supporters on here this week. I have had vile stalking and abusive threats. I know nothing about Richard Gadd apart from his sorry little life story I listened to on a Sophie Hagen podcast he did with her when Baby Reindeer came out. I am not Martha, have no criminal convictions, have not been to the Hawley Arms for 10 or 12 years. I'm not interested in any aspect of Richard Gadd's life. I don't believe a word he says, nor does anyone I know. I know from that podcast he failed an English degrees and did that stupid degree in theatre studies at Glasgow. At Glasgow Uni. I know he'll do and say anything to make money. He'll defame anyone. Richard Gadd and I have never been friends or even in a relationship. He's a gay man. I'm a heterosexual woman. He did ask me out and stalked me years ago, so I'm not interested. Some people just can't take rejection. But to defame me all over the internet is another thing. My lawyers will sue. So that's her claims. I mean, let's be real, it is a bit all over the place. And she's maybe behaving like someone who may do stalkery stuff and send loads of emails and stuff like that. But she is claiming he was stalking her, and she's making claims, isn't it? We don't know. So we don't know. Right. That's the first bit. I wanted to get that in there first because then I've got the stuff she was actually writing today. And it's a lot. Let's just be honest. It is a lot. There's a lot being said. Right. 21 hours ago is the first bit. Right. I'm going to go up her Facebook wall now. 21 hours ago. Let's put that there, right? Still not been outside today because of the lies Daily Fail and The Sun and Gadd have made up. So many publishers have reached out to me. Gadd was always desperate for fame. I wasn't. Instead, Gadd goes ahead and is the star of his own sitcom. She's saying she's in Camden Town there. She did say she doesn't live in Camden Town anymore. So she is a bit all over the place. Let's acknowledge that. Gadd, you have started something that will never go away. All you seem to do is hurt everyone you come into contact with, including the trans women you F. Like, you know, I mean, some of this could be even considered part of the stalking, right? It's like she's going off on him, but there is just some points to it that I think are interesting and fair. Here, Gadd, you will always be obsessed with me, which is why you wrote more than 420,000 words for your sitcom All About Me, which he, in the sitcom, is claiming that she wrote him 42,000 emails, right? So that's her reply, and I think it's fair. And is it more clearly? Glad you really took it too far. Sat on a sofa on morning TV playing the wee victim. 42,000 messages, but you wrote a whole sitcom about me. There is something in that. I don't care. There is something in that. Like, there just is. On some level, if they, and there's, don't get me wrong, like, there's things in the show, yeah, everyone who's watching it will know, there's things in the show where he kind of acknowledges himself playing into it, right? I don't want to victim blame. I'm not really on that. Like, we don't go, oh no, it was his fault, he brought it to himself. I've seen people say, even on my post today, people saying that, no, we don't do that. We know he's a victim and survivor in this situation, yeah, but he has said that he enjoyed it in some way because of his other traumas. It's like the attention he was getting from her, he wasn't getting from anywhere else, like that, right? He started to need it. He started to have sexual fantasies about it, all that kind of stuff he was saying, right? And don't get me wrong, this is something that victims can happen. You know what I'm saying? That can happen to people who are victims. It's like the trauma can cause things like that and stuff like that. So I don't want to take away from his experience, but if, you know, and maybe that's reactive. Maybe it's reactive abuse. Do you know what I'm saying? That him doing this is his reactive abuse. But there is something in that. Oh, he wrote a whole sitcom about her to kind of shame her to the world. So I get her point. I look nothing like that woman you picked. How disrespectful. His sad wee show at the festival did nothing for 9 years, so he had to make up lies. Content for your wee sad Netflix show. I'm off to bed. Gadd is the same as Amber Heard. This is funny, I actually commented on this. Gadd is the same as Amber Heard, on, and it ruined her career, all the lies. And this is funny because she apparently was an Amber Heard supporter. She may have got brainwashed not to be. I want to find, because I actually commented on this and said it would make more sense the other way around, right? Someone put the screenshots, yeah, of it. So Johnny Depp's a junkie and wife beater, and he badmouths Trump. Oh gosh, she's a Trump supporter. Red flag there, Fiona. And yeah, blah blah blah. So someone said, called her out saying she was actually a supporter. But I said would make more sense, to say he's the same as Depp. Would make more sense to say he's the same as Depp. 1 second, I want to take myself off the screen. Would make more sense to say he's the same as Depp. Heard was the innocent one, and Depp was able to use his power to turn the world against her and make his fans bully her online. Look, a few people like that. My point was just that if you're saying, did she actually like it? That's what I want to know. No, she hasn't liked it. So, you know, that's just my little take on that, because it's like, right, that would have been an interesting comparison. Alright, Gadd is the same. Like, that's one way. I'm due to rest. I deserve it. Like, this has been all. Oh my god, we're still on 19 hours ago. I don't know how he got that Netflix deal. Did Gadd think his Netflix show was going to fix his narcissistic behaviour? He will be hearing from my legal team. I do think there's some narcissism displayed in what he's doing. I'm agreeing with that. I was his bloody muse. All these years, he strung me along. Yeah, that's what she's claiming, and his show does. It does, like, his story does indicate that, like, he's kind of admitting that in his show, right? Did a Netflix series played by himself, and he thought he was protecting people. This is very telling sign that he has sociopathy traits. I mean, she's got points. Do you know what I'm saying? She really has points. Still have not eaten, so this is bugging her out. Yeah, she's obviously a person who's dealing with mental health. That not taking away any of her behaviour. That doesn't excuse any of her abusive behaviour at all. But this is impacting her, right? Gadd has got main character syndrome, bullying an older woman on television for fame and fortune. I will speak my truth. Hollywood, I want him to know my side of the story, but I won't be a wee sad sellout and tell the whole world lies. That's mad interesting. She probably will get offered a documentary. She could get offered a series and a film. She could do it a whole different side to it. You never know. I think the staff at the Daily Mail think we are as thick as them. We're not. I'm amazed that people read the Daily Mail, run by people who never went to uni, false reporting, spreading lies. Wide awake. The world is gullible if they think baby Reindeer is remotely accurate. 20-somethings, blah, blah, blah. She's just going off, innit? She is going off. Like, there's a lot of unhinged just going off, but there's little bits of points. All Gadd ever wanted was fame, and he was going to stop at nothing to gain worldwide fame, hence him playing himself in a wee stupid sitcom. Wouldn't call it a sitcom, to be honest. I bet Neil at the Daily Fail is stalking me right now. Neil from the Daily Mail tells lies. Your lies will be exposed in court. I recorded our conversation. She recorded conversations in the show, so that's not surprising. Is it me or the vast majority of people from Britain figures dog S? Because 95% of people do not have degrees. Blah, blah, blah. She's not happy, man. She is not happy. We sad British people, let's all harass a woman who Gadd made a whole sitcom about and led on. British people, let's not harass the so-called, yeah, you can see what that says on the screen, artist, because there is one in the show, and that person's not being found and harassed. This is true. She's spot on. Like, she is spot on with that. She is being harassed. The woman in the show who done wrong is being harassed, but the man in the show who did even worse, no one's really even talking about it that much. I think that might be her actual picture in the Sun, what she shared, right? False accounts of accusations made by the Scottish Sun, who copy and pasted the story from the British Sun. I was never convicted of anything. Daily Fail, the Sun, a bunch of criminals who lied to sell papers. She's not happy with the media. Gadd, I know you can see this, you wee stalker. Why would you not let me get on with my life? Instead, you sit on morning TV going on and on about me. Was not Netflix enough? Few people can see. All you want is fame. I hope you're very happy now. Richard Gadd has PTSD according to the Daily Mail. This explains his over-fabricated stories. I hope he seeks help. Well, I don't think PTSD explains anything about fabricated stories, love. I don't support that one. I'm here to hear you. I'm hearing you, and I think you got some points. But listen, cannot sleep. Has Gadd finally driven me mad? If you keep harping on in the comments, I'll simply turn them off. British people are slow upstairs. I explain my main account. So she made this account apparently. I'm pretty sure it's still her because she was posting on the other one. And then, like, this has been getting shared and reported on, like, in official channels and stuff like that. She said she made a separate account because she wanted to let off, and like people were adding people who know her and stuff like that. so she made her friends private and all that. God, man. Finally awake. She's going on and on. So she's not a big drinker, but she needed a whiskey and coke. I read up to about here, so we're probably going to get Gadd drank a lot, inherited by his parents. Daily Mail are so blind drunk when writing their articles, which is why the stories they print are full of lies. Yeah. 1 second. I never fancied Richard Gadd. He tried to sleep with me. I said no, obviously. Richard Gadd loved my sense of humour, which is why he can't get me out of his mind. Richard Gadd thinks it's productive harassing me? Like, nah, it's not productive harassing her. This is the bit I'm going to agree on. It's a bit I'm agree on. Let me just be clear. I'll summarise at the end of it, but I'm still a supporter of Richard Gadd and his telling his story and all of that. I just think there's layers to be discussed here and things to analyse, and it's going to be interesting if there's further developments. Richard Gadd, wee tinkle, would always shoot up when he saw me, but also, don't get me wrong, like, all of this seems like something that a stalker would say. You know what I'm saying? A stalker would always flip it and try and make it the other person who was doing the stalking. And like, I don't know why I haven't said this so far, but I've had a stalker before. Like, I've actually had a stalker before. Like, literally, where they've, you know what I mean, they've had to be given harassment warnings and all them kind of things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had literally a stalker for a couple of years. It wasn't as crazy as this stalker here, but yeah, I had a stalker. To the point, like, I don't really want to start talking on it because they're still out there, but probably, and they might see this and get wound up or whatever. But to the point, like, they got a harassment warning to stay away from me, and they lived miles away from me, and then they got a job somewhere that I go all the time to say, well, I work here now, so what are you going to do about it, kind of thing. Like, it was extreme. And I don't know if there's one of my friends who I think will be tuned in today who will know all about that. Anyway, this morning have asked me to go on the show. Unlike Gadd, I declined. I don't want fame like him. I saw that one as well, so that's kind of where I was at. What should I have for dinner? Like, she's kind of maybe enjoying the attention. All you trolls harping on this is not an imposter. I made a second page. Why would I go to jail? I'm not harassing no one or causing harm. Just like Gadd made a whole TV sitcom about me, I'm entitled to say my truth. What Gadd has done is way worse, and I'm being harassed daily. It's not me leaving comments on anyone's page. I have freedom of speech, but I do not lie, unlike Gadd. Yeah? I'm not sure the legality of that, whether she's right or wrong, because it's on her own page. She's cool. I think she may have some points in that. But it also, I think there's circumstances where it would still be considered harassment. What Gadd has done is way worse, and I've been arrested. I mean, it's debatable. You know what I'm saying? It's debatable, especially if I don't know, like, I often say intention don't matter, innit? But if, like, on some level he's got to have known that this was going to happen to her. I can post 1 million times and no cop will arrest me. I'm causing no distress. If Gadd says I need help on national TV, so can I. But you want to persecute me. Britain is full of misogynists. She's spot on. Yeah, she's spot on calling out the misogyny in it. And she's openly saying if I need about her needing help. Oh no, she's saying about him needing help, I guess, innit? What was something else? Just thought I have freedom of speech. She's saying she's not causing them harm. There was something else that I forgot to say about the last bit, but I can't remember what it was now as well. Anyway, and look nothing like that person. She's 10 times heavier. I think she's right. No, now I understand why you say never accept the free lunch. In my case, free tea. So she's openly saying it's her because these are things that happened in the story. Because early, obviously she's saying her, but early she said, I'm not that character or whatever. I do live in London. I lived in Camden but moved because of this wee sad man. Richard Gadd told the press the person wouldn't know it's her that Oh yeah, I protected her, but he played himself. So of course your pub mates leak my identity to the sun. Smart, real smart. Um, that's not even from people looking it up. So yeah, obviously like people are gonna reveal it as well. Like, and there's a level. It's like I don't want to. I gotta be careful not to be victim blame me as well again. But it's like you made this show like knowing, like she said, knowing that all this stuff will come out. So it is creating an interaction with her again, right? It's like it's drawing her back in to kind of interactions with you, which is a bit, yeah. Anyway, if I am sick, Richard Gadd is 10 times sicker. I don't sleep and abuse trans women, men, whatever they call themselves. So let's red flag her for that. Let's red flag her for anti-trans comments. Yeah, that's not on. Richard Gadd, you just couldn't take the fact I moved on. You had to drag this out. What do you want from me? If you look beyond the surface, you will see the truth and the type of man. People blame me for Richard Gadd's sad wee little life, but he was doing drugs with his so-called agent behind everyone. Which, yeah, I think that's even in the show. Which is in the Holy Arms. Actually shows the people in the Holy Arms doing bare coke upstairs and that, obviously. That's like a famous spot in it. Like Amy Winehouse used to drink there. Like, yeah, obviously I'm from Camden for people who don't know. I wonder if Daily Fail will print my Facebook message. I know you're dying to go on. I know you're dying to go on, fill your blank spaces. So she might want that, right? I don't know, she don't want it, but horrid Netflix capitalizing off my harassment. You just went along with all his lies, and now we sad people won't let go, posting every going on and on. You have no sympathy for Gadd's victims and everyone who's being harassed. I'm suing you all. Bye for now. I just want to say Neil at Daily Mail and I have him recorded. I have him recorded lying. He should have bloody watched the show. I record everything for evidence. I want to hear that recording, man. Should I message her and ask her for it? Anyway, fool who thinks I'm a fake account, blah 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 blah. I have no bed or carpet at the moment, just a few side tables. Right. So that was the real Martha, supposedly. And I mean, I don't know what to make of it, innit? I just thought, actually, shout out Greg Blackman, as I said. I didn't really like Greg Blackman's take because it undermined the other stuff I'm talking about. Yeah, I've never sat here and tried to say, that this is the real victim. Always make the or real abuser. Always make the man the real abuser. No, what I will do is point out how the woman is always the person targeted with persecution from the public, yeah, and shame. So that's what has happened in this. But I wasn't even doing that until Greg's thing. Like, I wasn't even looking into none of this. So shout out Greg for making me look into all of this. Yeah, and Greg is my mate. You know what I'm saying? Love him like a brother, like he said to me as well. Like, I'm a big supporter of Greg. He's a great musician and a great guy. But yeah, that made me look at this. And like I say, I'm still not saying that he's the abuser, but there is accusations in there of her openly saying he's the abuser, and there is something to be said in the fact that he is now causing her harassment. That is going on. Like that is happening. Do you know what I'm saying? Alright, we'll keep it moving. But before we keep it moving, the show's out there, so go and watch it. If you haven't watched it, go and watch it. I would hope nobody watched this who hasn't watched it. It is a great show. It's a really impressive performance, and obviously he's like playing himself in this story. And I didn't realize he was playing himself the whole time I watched it. Halfway through, I found out that the creator of the show was him. So I was like, whoa, they wrote and created this about themselves, own experience, mad. And then when I finally played it, I didn't find out until I was finished. So I actually want to watch it again now, knowing that, because what a thing to do, like, to perform do a performance of all your traumatic experiences. It's like, how that's powerful. That's what I was thinking, right? But then, seeing that take on the things that problems that can cause, I just had to take them on. I don't know. Maybe leave a comment. What do you think? I'm not convinced either. I'm not like sold either way.